How to double your income in the next 12 months. The first one is be so good they can't ignore you. So really get good at whatever it is that you do or whatever it is that you want to do. Just commit to really immersing yourself over the next 365 days on whatever it is that you want to do or be. Just immerse yourself in doing it. Just 365 days straight. Just commit every single day. And of course, I believe in resting one day a week, and that's a Sabbath for me. But every single day, other than that, immerse yourself. Be so good they cannot ignore you. And that means eliminating bad habits, getting rid of things that waste your time, getting rid of things that are no good for you. So just become so good they can't ignore you. That's number one. Number two is study your craft, and these kind of go together. And so whatever that looks like for you, maybe you decide to read one book a week, maybe 2 books a week, maybe 3 books a week, but study your craft. The only way you can become so good that they can't ignore you is you got to immerse yourself in whatever it is that you're doing. You got to know what all the top people are doing. You got to read all their books, get all the experience, learn all you can, because books, give us new ideas. They make us think about things we hadn't thought about. It gives us new perspective. It, just kind of flips things on their head. You could just look at the top 20 people in your field and see, okay, what are they saying about the topic? What have they learned? And so I love books because you can get 20 years of experience in 200 pages, right? You can get 20 years of experience in one day or 7 hours of reading. You can listen to it over and over again and really get the lessons down deep inside of you. And then you can decide what you think. You can decide out of these things what worked for you. What did you try? What did you learn? What did you experience? But number one is be so good they can't ignore you. 2 is study your craft. The only way that you're going to double your income is you're going to have to be good at something that people are willing to pay for, something that is harder to learn or that people are just not willing to do, or something that's evergreen like communication, right? Or leadership. People will always need to be able to communicate with each other. People will always need to know how to become a better leader. Storytelling is something that, for the rest of our lives, people will need to know how to tell a good story, how to draw people in, how to present, all these different things, negotiation. These things will help you, in the long run. You can learn business, sales, all these different skills will help you, to always have something that you're learning, or that you learn, that you just constantly get better at, that you'll always be able to make money in. The next one is pay attention to the details. So oftentimes we rush and do something, we miss the details. We miss the small things, we miss the things that really matter. Maybe it's the top 20%. We miss things that really move the needle in our life. So pay attention to the details. What things do you really need to know? What things do people have trouble with? Think about that for yourself. What is it that people have trouble with that you can learn, that you can teach, that you can, do for yourself and earn income in? The next one is look at your associations. So oftentimes we think that we can listen to somebody who is negative because they're our friend. We've been friends for a long time. We're always together. We, whatever the situation looks like. But if we hang around somebody who is talking down to us, who makes minimum wage, who is not working, who can't keep a job, if we hang around that person, we won't think about growing. We'll have a hard time struggling. We'll have a hard time growing because we will be around this person and we will adopt their habits. So we got to pay attention to our associations. We want people to make us grow. We want people to challenge us to grow. We want people to challenge us to be better and better. So associations matter. I always tell this story. If we hang around somebody who is doing drugs, if we hang around them every single day or every other day, if we're around them consistently, we will look around and we will be tempted, and then we'll start to do drugs. It is very hard for us to get somebody to stop doing drugs if we are not strong and we're not focused, and like every single day we're not drowning ourselves in things that are positive, uplifting, and encouraging. So we got to make sure we are careful with the people that we are associating with. I heard this quote years ago that we are the 5 people that we hang around with. That's who we'll be. That's who we'll become. The 5 people that we're around. So association is important. Who we spend our time with is important. Don't neglect the fact that if we hang around people who are doing things that are wrong, that are illegal, that are telling white lies, that are doing all these things, don't underestimate the fact that if we hang around them long enough, we will start doing those things ourselves. We'll start, cheating. We'll start skimping off the top. We'll start doing all these different things. So we want to make sure that we are rock solid in who we are and what we believe. But if we want to increase our income, we need to be around people who are making more money than we are, that are challenging us, who they, giving us new ideas, who we're seeing that they make a certain amount of money every single month, every 2 weeks, or every day, or whatever it is. We're seeing this over and over again. We can see what's possible for ourselves. We can start changing our mindset, changing our beliefs, because we start thinking, okay, if they do it, I can do it too. And so that happens with associations, hanging around people who are making more money than you are. So if you want to double your income, you want to spend time with people who are making more money than you are, and not people who are making less money than you are. So just something to think about. If you want to double your income, become so good they can't ignore you. That's going to come through studying and reading. You got to study the greats, study the people your top 20 people in your field. Commit to reading 100 books in a year. Listen to your topic of interest every single day on Audible, audio books, or whatever it is that you want to listen to. Look at videos on YouTube. Listen to podcasts related to your area of expertise that you want to be good at. And then pay attention to the details. Little things do matter. And then look at your associations. This will help you to increase your income. So just think about this today. What can you adopt right away? What can you start looking at in the next 2 weeks or 30 days? What can you do to start changing to double your income? And so I believe if you're going to double your income, you got to write it on paper, right? You got to write down at the top of the paper how much money you want to make. You got to be specific. You got to have a date, a deadline. You got to make a list of all the things that you have to do in order to double your income. And, I believe in breaking it down by monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, daily. What do you have to be earning? So this is important, so you'll know for yourself. You'll know what you're working towards. You'll know when you're making progress. You can track this progress. Once you write the steps down, have these metrics in place. By this time, I'm going to increase my income by this amount. By this time, you got to write this out so you'll know what it looks like. You'll know if you're making progress. You'll know if you're doing the things that you got to do in order to double your income. So don't just say you're going to double your income and you haven't done any of the work, because the work is, you got to take action, but you got to know what you got to do. And so the only way that works is if you write it down on a piece of paper. So write it down, all the steps that you got to take to double your income, things you've been putting off for 5 years, 10 years, and then put them in order, of priority. What do you need to do now? What do you need to do later? What do you need to work towards? And so you just start doing that. You start taking action based on priority, based on importance, based on, what needs to happen before something else. But write it down on a piece of paper and then commit to it. Don't give up on this. I've seen this work for myself over and over again. I know it works if you do the work. So once you write it down, you got to start doing the work. So once you do the work, you will start to see progress. You'll start to see things the way you want. You start making progress. You start to see the things the way you want them to be. And if you don't, you just start making tweaks. Okay, this didn't work. I'll try this. This didn't work. You just keep making tweaks until you get to where you want to be. The most important thing is to take action and not to give up. Two most important things: take action and don't give up. Just keep moving forward. Just keep trying over and over again till you get to where you want to be, till you get to where you're doubling your income every 12 months.